welcome. Next video, if you have seen my last video, still the same day. Spectacular court. I'm here again. Maybe you have seen a few videos ago, it was closed. Even when the time was the right that they said it is open. Now I'm back here. Same day now, you know. From the last court, and now it is open. It is open. Spectacular court. I show you that. If you don't know it, the court itself is not spectacular, but this indoor thing, boah. Now we can move in. Amazing, you know. Boah. So now watch. That is an indoor free hall, you know. Boah, 1, 2. Bam, watch at that building. There is all sports place here, you know. And that beside thing that looks spectacular, you know. Boah, watch now. 1, 2. Bam. All of wood, you know. It's not complete indoor, it is in a free thing, only with a rooftop, you know. And the basketball is left a small one, but watch. Hey, that looks so spectacular, you know. Here by us you don't have such a tool, you know. And here, you know, another sports place in where they can make this, I don't know how it is called, a little bit similar like curling, you know. But no one here, you know. Wow. And you have to imagine that the details, that is all wood, you know. That is not concrete or such things, that is wood. You know, and this is open, you know, this is only where the air can go in and out and they can close it and go up, you know. And wow, that is amazing. And that you can rent here, you know. When you want to play here, there you have to pay. You can rent it. In there is an indoor basketball court, you know, where they play matches. And here comes the small basketball court, a very small one, but special. But beside of that hall, that is amazing, I tell you that. And no one here. So 1, 2, but watch now, here we come out. There it is. A cool court, or an own, like a grand garden here, you know, with the Davis. Amazing, huh? Boy, small one, you know, with the lines. Can you remember 2 years ago we were driving in the fields with the bicycle and watched down here, you know. And you see here that it's all open, this wood, you know, that the air circulates. And the spectacular thing here is you play here, you know. I mean, alone that you have here a house to sit, you know. That is all special. But then you play a few balls, like here, you know, bam, bam, bam. And then you go those 1-2 meters inside and you say, whoa, what is that, you know, what is that, an indoor hall beside, that is spectacular, or, but no one here, you know, no one here, I don't know. I don't get it, you know, we have it now after midday, afternoon, holidays, and here we have a small thing, you know, here, a boulder thing, but yeah, absolutely amazing, you know. The basketball court. And watch the panorama outside, you see that? Also amazing, or very, very cool. Yeah, but here you have to be careful, you know, because here are windows, you know, wait. Here you have the windows, you know, that the ball does not crash there. And here, hey, that is away now. They have put away the satellite. There was a satellite like for television, you know, that was here. That is away now. You see that? Because there you have to watch that doesn't crash from the rebound, you know, it could fall to the satellite. It's away. That is now good, you know. So very cool, you know, very, very cool. And now I change my clothes and then we play. Ta-da! Watch now. Charlotte Hornets fan, or? Yeah, with the cappy Charlotte Hornets, the old one, you know. And 5 years, I think, stays on. 5 years Charlotte Hornets. And that was a present, you know, a parcel last year to my birthday from a female client of mine. She bought me extra Hornets t-shirt, you know, very cool. And now we play. Hey, very spectacular, really. If you stay here, small place, cool ground, you know, an original court, you know. So I like it here. You can play, the ring is good, the board is good. Now you can throw more because it does not crush there. Here you have to be a bit more careful. a bit more carefully. Here we have a stone ball, you know, but it goes. The best ball I would not bring, but we have our rubber ball. And then really when you watch in there, such a big indoor thing, you know. I know in South America there they have a lot of courts, in Colombia and such things, where they have a rooftop over the courts open, you know. But here by us that does not exist. And these are coasts unbelievable, you know. In winter you can skate here, and yeah, but I'm here always alone. Only one time I've seen a kid coming and playing, but here, you know, they have the much courts. We're an old historical city again. If you don't know that, I make the 360 roundhouse trip normally, and that court was not open. No one opened it up, and it was a good decision not to come the next or even more next day. Now it is 1 week ago, and the next week better try, you know. Maybe this person who opens it up is on holiday, then they don't do it, whatever. And yeah, cool. Now we play spectacular court. There was a bee in, you know, a bee or such a thing. That's why I've waited. You see here the height against our last court. There's so much difference, you know. You see, very high because it is warm, over 30 degrees, you know. We'll have 36 or so today. Very nice. Wow, with the mountains, you know, very nice. But imagine now, you dribble here, you go to the ball, you throw it in, you make a turn with the ball, and then you are in there. What a spectacular thing, or wow, amazing, or in the shadow. And then we make a turn, and we are out by this nice basketball court with that great view out there, you know. Cool thing, or real net. The zzz sound, you know, zzz, cool rings, you know. Absolutely nice. But yeah, amazing, or really, really a cool thing. Other side now, right? Air Jordan, or you see that? I can hold it like here and make this, you know. Yeah. How I bam, he faked it and then right hand with him because it is so warm. Normally on the right hand I cannot hold it like on the left, you know. Was always so, also as a kid, but now Jordan, you know. The dribbles, we have it here. Right. Wow, well, my friends, here, that journey, you know, a cool place. I like it, you know. When I'm in, so relaxing here. I tell you, it is warm, very warm now, because here you have this rubber material which heats up, you know. And I enjoy this. It's also to me a street ball day where I spend on more courts. Now we will have a third court, you know. Sometimes I play only on one court where I stay long, you know, depends which courts, you know. And these are smaller courts where I spend not too much time, but here it's always relaxing. And I have shoes on. Maybe if you question this, shoes, these are not basketball shoes. These are Kappa normal walking shoes, you know. I got them last year, and yeah, they are not made for basketball, so here I have to be a little bit carefully. But I have my other shoes, you know, the Amazon shoes. Where is my backpack? Huh? Where is my backpack? Ah, here, boy. I thought, where is it? Here. But I tell you, that is amazing. You know, such a beautiful place. All of wood, you know, with lights. And there you can rent it to play, you know. Amazing. And I told you, in that old historical city here, you know, it's not my city. It's a small city, old historical, because this is the mother of the miners of silver, you know, and on and on and on. The richest man maybe ever lived here, you know, hundreds years ago, was from the money like twice as rich as Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos together, you know, but out of Augsburg. I told all of that. I made a documentary with basketball all of here, you know, where I spent my whole week from morning to evening every single day here, you know. Wow, David, it showed you all, you know. And yeah, that they have built not too long ago, you know. But an amazing place, you know. But today, you know, I get it, it's too warm for the people, you know. They go much more likely always swimming and not making sports when it is hot. But I like this, the Charlotte Hornets. Normally I like XXL or larger, but yeah, this is smaller. But with the cap, you know. Wow, today I watched the game Charlotte Hornets against the Chicago Bulls when they were in the playoffs much more. Hey, I watched again, you know, that was amazing. 1998, the Charlotte Hornets, wow, maybe they beat the Bulls in the playoffs. That I remember, you know. Yeah, amazing, you know. So, absolutely a cool place, you know. Where do you get this? Really, an own construction where you find that no other place, you know. That looks like you have an house with a garden and you have your private corridor. Imagine as a kid, you know. If you would come here as a kid, that looks like, boy, I have a private court to play now. Normally they have the tables here, you know, to sit. You can also sit there. And I always think as a kid, you know, that you would say, wow, the dream, to have a court for your own, a dream. I mean, only relaxing playing, you know, not too hard, not too much, because I don't trust in the bicycle too much, you know, when the battery is over again, or damaged, happens so often, and then I have to drive all without, and I have no money by me. Not €1. Can you imagine that? Not €1 I have by me. And I have no card where I can make something. Nothing. So when something is, then I have to make my way home for many hours, you know, by walking or driving, whatever, you know. And yeah, so that is spectacular court, because it is spectacular, you know. I will now go on to another court, you know, because that is also not that far away, and also there are opening times that locks opens up at 1 o'clock around, and it's only in summer, you know. It is a cool court, an asphalt court, you will see that. The hockey streetball court, you know, that I like also, and there also, when it's so hot, there will be no one. Hopefully it will be open, and these are the 3 courts which I play today, you know. It's a cool session, because tomorrow I also play and drive, not too far, but also, and so I spend always a little bit of my energy. You cannot bring the last out until you lie on the floor. That I don't do, because then the next day you cannot drive hours and play, and this will not work out, you know. And so that works out, to play, to have the energy, and then you can do it the next day also, and on and on and on, you know. And yeah, I changed now my shoes. I have another t-shirt, you know, that it looks better. Oh, I don't know, I like now this clothing. No, I let this on now. Also the shoes, I like that. You know, I do that what I want, you know. And for the videos, it looks better to have not always the same on, you know. And today I extra have a bottle in, I have shoes in, and I tell you that the shoes, I show you that, because this bag has much more space. They say normally you can bring in shoes, but that I have tried. I mean, I have size 45, you know, and that is too big, but I have the shoes in there. Here I have my cap, you see that? Here I have another cap and a water bottle, you know, a big one. Here I have the camera with the package, and here I have the shoes in. Maybe you see that, right? You see them here. These are the shoes. So I have all space, and the basketball normally, when you close the thing for the basketball, then it is, you cannot close it because then it gets damaged. Happened also to me. But here it is so, the width is good enough that you have space. And also here, because it is soft here, wait, you see that is soft. So an absolutely great bag, you know, I tell you that. That is also very, very good. And the Charlotte Hornets, you know. I tell you, when it gets colder, I will buy me a Charlotte Hornets jacket. So a cool one, you know. Because I always liked the Charlotte Hornets. Nowadays, I don't care, you know. I don't know, there are many people in my age who don't watch the NBA that much anymore. In the 90s that was other, you know, and the nowadays kids, they will watch it and like it, and maybe in 20 years they will then also say, that is not like in 2020 or 2026, you know. In 2040 they will say it, you know. But yeah, when I talk about the Charlotte Hornets, that was the starting, you know. There was Robert Parrish, Dale Curry, the father of Curry, you know. There were Maxi Bogues, you know. I always call it Maxi Bogues. Very cool, you know. One of my favorite players. And then Alonzo Mourning, when he was by the Charlotte Hornets until he left to the Miami Heat, you know, that was shit. Then Baron Davis later on, Glenn Rice was a favorite player of mine. Larry Johnson I liked very much, you know. And there I had the card and posters, you know, from Larry Johnson. I liked always the dress. My first Spalding ball was a Charlotte Hornets rubber Spalding ball in in Toys R Us store in the middle 90s, you know. I cannot remember, was it 94, 6? Yeah, 5, I think, 95 or 4, because 1996 I got the NBA Ultimate ball, and there I had the Spalding ball. And I could choose, you know, the collection. There were in Toys R Us all Spalding balls, all different brands, you know. And I watched and I liked the Charlotte Hornets. I have known basketball, you know, I watched it since around the Dream Team, Barcelona 1992. When Jordan entered in, you have known, Larry Bird, the first time that you see it, you know, and Magic Johnson, because we were 90s kids. 80s also, but there I didn't watch, so the 80s I have not seen. But then you have thought, now you see this legend, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in. But you have known Johnson is a little bit older and Larry Bird was a bit hurt, you know, with the back. And Jordan in there and Pippen. And then you really thought you were completely for the USA. Hopefully, when Jordan is in and plays, he will crush all players. Nowadays, people cannot remember that time, but that was really the first time that you see the professional NBA players, the best one from the NBA, play against other countries, you know. And then you see, is the NBA, the US guys really, are they the best or not? And that was the case, and you watched it, and they shot everyone away, you know. That was amazing. And since then I watch basketball, but I have not known all the clubs, you know, in that way, not brands, the clubs, because there was no internet. The only information was you had television, but there was also nothing running on. There was no NBA at normal television, you know. That was starting in, also around 1994, around in German television. I think it was DSF, Deutsches Sportfernsehen, in Germany Sport Television, DSF it was called, and there was Frank Buschmann. And he had NBA Inside, I think it was called, and that was always one time a week, when I remember back good. And that we watched, and there were always highlights. I think the dunks or the scenes, and there you have seen Jordan and all those guys. This was the only time where you could watch it. And and so I was, and there was magazines, you know. That was the only thing to get the information, and that was also around 1994 when they started with the Basket magazine. It was called Basket, German. I collected every single thing, read it, and there was a poster inside. And you hope, now hopefully a good poster, you know, most of the time Jordan posters. And and then Basketball USA, but that was so expensive. And my granddad, every week, after table tennis playing, you know, I trained in a club and played tournaments, and after the training on Friday, yeah, my friends, now it overheated for the first time, and that was now a long time, you know. So in 1080p is the best, you know, that is, because when the sun burns completely down, so very happy with that. Watch, I'm sitting here in the shadow, you see, when I go this, I'm in the shadow, relaxed. Oh, watch inside there, you know. So very cool, I'm completely alone in that complex, you know. Behind of me, the basket, here on the other side, you know. And I go to the sun. So wow, amazing, you know, to sit here. I have drunk now something, my iced tea. Yeah, very cool, you know, to watch there. So and with the magazines, you know, there was the Basketball USA that was so expensive, and my granddad bought me every week on Friday. We went to the train station. There was a shop for magazines, and there I could always choose one magazine. And so I always got the Basket and the Basketball USA, and there was the Slam, you know, and I collected them every month. And that was our information about basketballs or the basketball cards, you know. And then, also when I was in that shop, all balls, and I chosen the Charlotte Hornets ball because I liked the symbol much. That is the newer one, the old one, you know. And the colors, because my favorite colors were yellow, blue, and turquoise. I don't know what is when you have blue and green together. And so I liked the Hornets, and that was the size 7 Spalding Charlotte Hornets ball. I played the whole decade until the early 2000s with that ball. And I got a size 5 ball. My mom said you get 2 balls, but only one normal size and one size 5 ball. And that was the Los Angeles Lakers ball, because that was this purple with yellow. I liked it. And so, and I have known that there were playing legends, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, that I heard from my granddad. And so those 2 balls, I can remember, like here they were on there, and I said, I will this and this, please. And that was cool. And Spalding, because NBA was Spalding. And yeah, that was the reason, you know. And then in 1994, I got a VHS that was here. You got no sport VHS, especially not basketball. But there was then existing one at MediaMarkt, our shop for electronical things. And those VHS said, wow, they have basketball, the Houston Rockets. And then I got the VHS when they went champion back to back, you know, in 1994 and 5 when Jordan left the NBA, you know. They all thought Penny Hardaway and the Orlando Magic will do it, but then the Houston Rockets with Clyde Drexler and Hakeem the Dream Elisha won it, and Hakeem the Dream was also a favorite player, this movement, you know. But I had a poster of him with the Spalding ball in the hand, and I made the same poster, I made the same picture then, but I don't find it. It was on Adia. I searched it, I've never found it again. It's so amazing here, you know, relaxing here, talking about basketball, a street ball day. I have no time worries, you know. So today, how long I will be out there doesn't matter, you know. The weather is good. Today and tomorrow we're all sun, and that is cool, you know. And with that bicycle is the most far away route what I can drive now, because that is all straight and not steep. And that was the best way to do it. And I loved it, you know, to be here. There is no other one who want to travel with me, a boy or girl. For them that is too much, you know. Here the mentality most of the time is we go to the court next to our home and finish. They don't care about here it is beautiful or there exists other court. No, they go to the next court for decades and that it is. And they say I don't drive 10 minutes in that heat here. You know? And I say, well, I love it. Thank you that it is summer. The more hot, the better. You know, that is me. So I'm completely other than most people here. I love that. When the others say in the morning, it is so hot, sweating by 20 degrees in the morning. And I say, a little bit more warm in the morning would be nice, you know. And I swear you, one time, because of the heatness, when they tell me by 18, 19, 20 degrees in the morning, this is hot. Greetings out to Italy. You know, we have one subscriber who has a basketball channel. Is now in Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles, USA, California. I was in Milano, and when the heat was a complete heat year, that was in 2007, I think. 2007 27. I swear you, it had 36 degrees at 4 in the morning. 36 degrees, 4 in the morning. Midday it had over 40 degrees, 42, 43 around. And when I got into the drain, they had a double drain, you know, one floor and the second etage. In the drain there was a temperature in the shadow. Milano Centrale inside, it had 39 degrees in the drain. 39 degrees, and the climatic stations, the cool down stations in the drain, they were damaged. So you had to be in there fully loaded up with people. People were standing. Wow, that was tough, you know. But that I always loved, because in Italy, in the old trams, they never had those climatic cool down things. That was always the same heat like outdoors, you know, and not very cool, also temperatures low and then you go out complete heat. That was always the same, you know. Yeah, and so basketball and Orlando Magic were also a favorite club. But there I had no basketball. But Shaquille O'Neal, you know, by Orlando Magic, and that was my time, you know. So when I talk about NBA, it's always the 1994 people, you know. That was my main time. And yeah, and later on I like Kobe Bryant, you know. It's the Iceman, or this ring ding ding. They're driving cars with ice cream and they make hoop hoop ding dong, and then the kids know it and run to the ice cream car. Then he stays and then you can buy an ice cream. Yeah, amazing, or really, really cool. And yeah, and then later on I can remember when LeBron James entered in. And I don't know, you know, the people from back then, they don't like LeBron James that much, you know, because they always say Jordan is better. But the thing is, I have seen that when he entered in, and that was since then until now, that never happened again. That much attention what LeBron James got when he entered in the NBA, they said the next Jordan. The nowadays people don't even know Jordan. They have never seen him playing. They watch a highlight reel, but they have not get his time, you know. But LeBron, that was here also in the news channel, in a normal news channel, LeBron James, the next Jordan. And Jordan back then was not only the best basketball player in the world, or the best ever, what they called him, he was considered in all sports the best. In every single sport, where is the best, he was the GOAT, you know. And so that was special. And LeBron, they said maybe the next Jordan, and that attention, amazing. And LeBron James, the nowadays people, when you are young, go into the link in my video description. There is a documentary with him. I don't know the name. When he was young, I have seen him when he entered in. Was he 18 or so? 19, 18. And he was absolutely cool. He had those white clothes, you know. Allen Iverson started that around because of Allen Iverson. They changed the rules with the clothing, and LeBron James entered in where we kids back then, and one was the name, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and LeBron entered in with these XXL clothes, you know, with the headband, and he was absolutely cool. And we thought, you know, also to me, wow, now there is a guy, because the older people said, yeah, watch how this guy looks, what is that? Completely oversized. And we said, yes, now one of the best is in there with that style, with that clothes. That was LeBron James. Always funny, always good mood, you know, and was very hyped. And nowadays they criticize him, you know, for this and that and on and on and on. But back then that was absolutely cool. Watch the first 10 minutes, then you get he raps inside his car, you know, with that clothes. That was our style in the late 90s, early 2000s. So LeBron was our man, you know. That was cool, you know. Yeah, and you see here I'm talking now, relaxed. Wow, amazing, you know. Yeah, and the NBA we never saw, you know, that here there were no NBA players. They were one time in Serbia. There were the US guys, you know, in the 80s or 90s around. But here by us there was nothing. Later on in Germany, when Allen Iverson, I think, shot from the middle line and went in, you know, that I can remember. I know that, you know. And yeah, but yeah, so that was all cool, you know. There were many players, you know. Always watched you tried it out, you know. But yeah, the thing is, when you have no one who can dribble, who can show you the technique, then you have it hard, especially without internet. Nowadays, you can watch tutorials, this and that, you know. When you are growing up with that tutorials, you have other movement and on, you know. But yeah. But I like also Jordan, you know. I always wish, please, Michael Jordan, go to the Charlotte Hornets. He was in the same division as the Charlotte Hornets with the Bulls, you know. And I wish, but when Jordan would play by the Hornets, you know, I never liked him because he was always beating the Hornets in my division. But I wished if he could play for the Hornets, you know. It's not you hate the guy. I didn't like him, but I would wish if he would play for the Hornets, I would have loved him, you know. That was amazing. He's so cool here, you know. No one here. You can tell me, we have here an outstanding tool and no one is here. Yeah, but that is now the spectacular court. Little bit dark. Amazing, or? And now I drive on to hockey court. I don't know how late it is. I have no feeling now. Wait, how late do we have it now? Wait, I have no idea. Is it, wow, 13:20. Also 1 o'clock and 20 minutes over, and that is good. At 1 o'clock they open it. Perfect, or? And I was driving in the early morning, so many hours again here. I need around 2 hours back then. Yeah, so that was cool. Spectacular court. Was amazing, you know, to talk about that. And yeah, I like that, the Charlotte Hornets from back then. That is, you know, I can wear what I want, you know. And that is the cool thing. And I liked it. Really, I liked it. So, amazing. Yeah, spectacular court. I go on to the next court. You will see that. The hockey streetball court. Completely different vibe than here. Also special and also cool. Like no other court. And then we see us. Bye and ciao.
And I always do it big because